Hello, my name is Alec Lewis, and I live here in Lacey, Washington. And I wanted to share with you today some of my thoughts on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. That's a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King. And it really resonates with me right now, particularly because of the times that we're in. And what he's saying is, during turbulent times, when there's hatred, when there's violence, when there's disagreement, we really need our friends to speak up. We need our friends to stand with us. And even when our friends disagree with us, we need our friends to be there with us, and we need to do the same for them. My grandmother, Emma Lou Hagerman, was a freedom rider. She was born in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, which is quite a bit from Montgomery and Selma, where a lot of the civil rights marches and civil rights battles that Dr. King fought were. But she was also one of the people that marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And I don't want to go into too much detail. I've only got a little bit of time, but I will tell you it is a very was a turning point in the civil rights movement. And it had to do with voting. And it was about the ability to be able to vote without fear of violence, without fear of being hurt or being killed because Black people wanted to be able to vote and have their voices heard, be able to have candidates that they thought would represent them in an election to help their lives be better. My grandmother used to say, you vote with your pocketbook. And by voting with your pocketbook, what she meant was you spend your time and you spend your money around people that care and respect you, that care and also don't care what you look like, what your skin color is, what your gender is. They just want to make sure that you are treated right and that you treat them right. When you look at what's going on today, it's never been more important to heed the words of Dr. Martin Luther King. I'm a Black man, if you can't tell, and I'm a Black man in America, and I'm a Black man that owns a business. And one of the things that I make sure that my business does is my business hires and interviews everybody. We don't care what country you're from, what state you're from, if you're old, if you're young, if you're Black, if you're white, if you're male or you're female. What we look for are the best people for the job, the best people for our work environment. And that's exactly what Dr. King stood for. That's exactly what he wanted. And you young people are growing up in some momentous times. You're growing up in a time where we are about to have the first African American and Asian and first female vice president. We just finished 4 short years ago having the first Black president. So you're growing up in some momentous times. We have the internet. We have cell phones. We have cable TV. And it's very important that you take advantage of the times you're growing up in. I've known your principal, Casey, almost all my life. Elementary school, middle school, high school. And he asked me to speak a little bit about what Martin Luther King meant to me. And I really looked at this, and I wanted to make it so you guys could understand what was in my heart and what that man means to me and my family. I wouldn't be here today speaking to you. I wouldn't have the job that I have today. My family wouldn't have the opportunities today. And Casey and I would have never gone to school together if it wouldn't have been for Dr. Martin Luther King. He was a champion of civil rights, and he was a champion of non-violent protest. Non-violent. He believed you could accomplish more with love and dignity and discussion than you ever could with violence. And he was correct. It's because of Dr. King that we had the Civil Rights Act. We had the Voting Rights Act. All of the things that allowed children that look like me and look like my kids to go to schools, to go to colleges and universities, to be able to eat at restaurants, and simple things like walk through the mall were a direct result of the work and efforts of Dr. King. And you kids are growing up in a really, really incredible time, and it is important that you carry on that tradition. You open your hearts, you open your minds, you open your arms to all of the kids and people that are around you. You make sure you treat people with dignity and you treat them with respect, the same way you would like to be treated. You live your life to the fullest while at the same time honoring your fellow man. And if we do that, we actually get to continue on with the tradition of Martin Luther King Jr. and civil rights and peace and love. Again, my name is Alec Lewis, and I'm really, really honored to talk to you guys. And I hope my words, or one part of it, or parts of it, reached you. And enjoy your day, and enjoy this time in your life, because it only gets better. Bye-bye.